Sanjay Leela Bhansali has reached Delhi already as we speak. In a short while from now, in fact, he is to appear before the parliamentary panel, and this is along with the CBFC chief Prasun Joshi as well. This is in the wake of the ugly controversy of Padmavati and multiple protests, ugly violent scenes of vandalism and death threats that have been issued against Bhansali and Deepika Padukone and the other main lead as well. Today, the parliamentary panel is to decide. They're meeting with, wanting to hear both sides of the story, and having called in both the filmmaker as well as the CBFC chief Prasun Joshi here on this. The 30-member panel has now called for a meeting which is to take place underway later this afternoon. These are the first shots that we're getting you of the film director Sanjay Leela Bhansali having arrived at his hotel there in Delhi before he has a meeting here with the parliamentary panel. We'll get you more updates, inputs here on this in just a bit on what to expect and the very fact why the filmmaker and the CBFC chief have been called in for this meet. We should understand here that the parliamentary panel is acting based on a petition that was put in from an MP as far as the release of Padmavati and the allegations against the film's team that it is hurting certain religious sentiments, hurting certain community. The chairperson of the parliamentary panel is the BJP MP Anurag Thakur. He is to be heading it. It will also include the BJP leader L.K. Advani along with other 30 members here of the parliamentary panel, which are to hear the concerns that have been raised by a certain community that it is hurting religious sentiments and has been derogatory to a certain section. Specifically, of course, derogatory to the Rajputs is the allegation here that Sanjay Leela Bhansali and his team has been facing. But apart from that, of course, there have been voices of support that have come in as well.
मैं यही कहूँगा, आखिर एक पिक्चर को करके इतना विवाद क्यों हुआ? आखिर समाज में वो टकराव क्यों हुआ? आखिर कुछ लोगों को सुरक्षा देने के लिए टैक्स पेयर्स का पैसा क्यों खर्च किया जा रहा है? इस तरह के विवादों से भविष्य में कैसे बचा जाए और इस विवाद के पीछे कारण क्या है, उसको जानने की भी आवश्यकता है। अगर किसी को इससे नुकसान हो रहा है, हमें उसके भी जानने का प्रयास करना चाहिए। और हर व्यक्ति को, चाहे वो फिल्म के बनाने से जुड़ा है या उसको सर्टिफिकेशन देने से जुड़ा है या मंत्रालय है, इन तीनों को ही INB मिनिस्ट्री, CBFSC और फिल्म के प्रोड्यूसर डायरेक्टर इनको बुलाया गया है ताकि हर व्यक्ति अपना पक्ष रख सके और कमेटी के मेंबर से जान सकें कि आखिर ये कंट्रोवर्सी पैदा क्यों हुई।
But as a filmmaker and as a citizen of this country, I would have preferred that you called the Karni Sena activists before you send a notice to Sanjay Leela Bhansali, because Sanjay Leela Bhansali has done all that legally. He has not come on the streets. He has not abused people. He has not threatened people of beheading them, of cutting their nose, of cutting their fingers, and killing anybody. So the people who have gone against the law of this country, it would have been better if the parliamentary committee would have called them first.
I don't think it has been curtailed, and it's unfortunate that Padmavati has got stalled for reasons which beyond, I really don't really know what the reason is. They said there was some kind of a glitch in the application, but very unfortunate. Sanjay Leela Bhansali is a very passionate filmmaker, and he's always made films which are aesthetically fantastic.
If people have a problem, then there has to be a resolve. If you want to solve the problem can be resolved without hurting anybody's sentiments, etc. everything. People do have a valid point. The government should look into it, the INB ministry, the censor board, and then if there is anything, which I don't think there should be because he is a responsible director, then obviously, I'm sure that he's going to make amends for it. In democracy, everybody has a right to express one's viewpoints and emotions, and there has to be a creative freedom.
Let's get in further details. We have with us our correspondent Mohit with those inputs in the build-up to that meet which is to take place, the parliamentary panel, to hear all sides of the story. Mohit, of course, this being along the lines, the allegations that the filmmaker continues to face, that he has hurt certain sentiments by making this film.
Well, certainly, there are a lot of questions that Sanjay Leela Bhansali will be answering today. We already have reports of him already arriving here in the national capital. At the same time, we already know that the meeting with the parliamentary panel will begin at 3 p.m. short. There are four main questions which are supposed to be, which the panel would be asking Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and they are whether the facts were distorted and he accepts that, is he willing to make cuts if required in the film, when does he actually see the film release happening, and finally, what's his opinion on the outrage over the film, and these happen to be the basic questions that the panel would be asking. So the panel is actually trying to, come out with certain clarity with regards to the movie, which has already created so many controversy. But what is also a matter of concern is the fact that Prasun Joshi, the censor board chief, would also be there, and he had already, shown his apprehensions regarding the movie with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, saying that with Sanjay Leela Bhansali going out and showing the movie to a select few and not to the censor board initially. So that had also outraged him initially. So it would be interesting to see that what happens at 3 p.m. But as of now, there are four main questions which will be troubling Sanjay Leela Bhansali in that 3 p.m. meeting.
All right. Those are the kind of questions that would be put forth to the filmmaker. But what about the CBFC rule, the CBFC's role, given that the CBFC's authority time and again an attempt has been made to undermine the CBFC authority, not having the CBFC to decide on this, but have a select group, a proposed select group, in front of whom the film could be screened to decide. So what is going to be the CBFC stand on this as well?
Well, certainly, it's once again time for the censor board to come out there and make a certain of its authorities, to come out and say that it's an autonomous body, and it is the sole body which can actually, certify movies and ensure that whether they get released or not. So these are the possible pointers that would be put across in this meeting as well. It would be once again a chance for the censor board to come out and make it clear that it is the censor board which decides about a movie and not fringe groups like the Karni Sena, who've been creating a lot of outrage, who've been carrying out protests out and out against the
Mohit, very quickly, there are questions also being asked on why should a parliamentary panel be entertaining this kind of a query. The very fact that a petition was put in by an MP, did the parliamentary panel not have the choice to shoot down that plea? Or was it compulsory for the parliamentary panel also to entertain this plea?
Well, one of the reasons given behind the parliamentary panel entertaining such a plea is the fact that such an outcry was there, such controversy, and such threats were being made to the filmmaker and everybody around it. And the sole matter that the movie had been certified in Britain and not in India so far, it's already been screened for a select few and not for the censor board. So, keeping in mind everything, the parliamentary panel decided that it will finally, call in a meeting of all these people who have a say in this particular matter, and then it will be decided what to do with the movie.
All right, so hopefully we're expecting the parliamentary panel then to have a final say on this, and irrespective on which side it tends to prefer in all in managing to maintain that kind of balance, hopefully, in their final decision today. Mohit, thanks for those inputs.